All right, welcome back to this explainer. Today we are breaking down one of the most intense, completely mind-bending, zero-to-hero journeys in modern storytelling, the hidden S rank. We're looking at a world that completely flips the traditional underdog trope totally on its head. It's a story about an incredibly overpowered protagonist who is desperately pretending to be weak. Get ready for some insane twists and brutal battles. Let's get right into it.
So imagine dropping straight into a brutal, completely rank-obsessed world where your literal soul dictates your place in society. I mean, if you're born with a high-ranked soul, you're basically walking around like a god among men. But if you're born at the absolute bottom of the ladder, you are treated worse than dirt. And well, that is exactly the harsh reality our main character finds himself thrown into.
For 10 straight years, our guy, Park Jin-sung, plays the ultimate role. He acts as this F-rank human punching bag. He literally lets himself get bullied, mocked, and beaten down every single day without fighting back. But, and here's the kicker, it's all an act. It's this massive decade-long lie completely designed to suppress his terrifying reality. A hidden S-rank aura of pure, unhinged death that's known as absolute killing intent.
Now, to really get why anyone would willingly take that kind of daily abuse, you gotta understand something called the Adela. Think of it like a physical manifestation of a person's soul that they use as a literal combat weapon. Being born with an F-rank Adela essentially makes you a total societal outcast. But Jin-sung's secret S-rank Adela is so dark and honestly so uncontrollable that he chooses that daily torment over the risk of his power just slipping out and slaughtering innocent people.
But look, you can really only hide a monster in the dark for so long, right? Everything goes off the rails during a horrific bank heist. This vicious global crime group called the Pestilence Syndicate takes the students hostage. And suddenly, with his classmates' lives literally on the line, Jin-sung realizes the F-rank act is completely over. He has to let the monster out to play.
As the clock ticks down, the tension is just through the roof. Downstairs, top-ranked elite students like Jui are getting absolutely demolished trying to fight the syndicate boss just to buy a little time. But Jin-sung, he totally uses the chaos. He quietly slips away up to the second floor, steps into the shadows, and unleashes his dark side. A hidden massacre begins, and those terrifying syndicate thugs realize a very chilling truth. They aren't holding him hostage. They're locked inside with an apex predator.
He activates this terrifying form called Absolute Assassin. And guys, this ability isn't just a cheat code for combat, it's pure psychological warfare. It reads an enemy's weak points, their power levels, and even their specific Adela names, all while projecting this overwhelming, literally paralyzing bloodlust. He completely dismantles a speedster thug who actually thought he had the upper hand. Jin-sung predicts every single move before taking him out with sadistic ease.
This all builds up to a cinematic, high-speed clash against the syndicate boss, Il-jung. Now, the boss is an absolute powerhouse for sure, but against Jin-sung, he's completely out of his depth. Jin-sung casually taunts him, literally listing off the 9 different ways he could end his life right then and there. The killer pressure Jin-sung puts out is so suffocating that this massive, seasoned villain literally runs for his life. He crashes straight through the roof just to escape.
But actually, let's pause for a second, because the emotional core behind this overwhelming power is absolutely crucial. Jin-sung isn't just playing the edgy anti-hero for fun. As a kid, he survived unspeakable trauma. He was forced to watch his abusive uncle brutally murder his parents and his beloved dog, Poppy. That horrific event is exactly what awakened his cursed, bloodthirsty soul. Jin-sung hides his power because he is deeply, genuinely terrified of becoming the very monster that destroyed his childhood.
So, moving forward, this internal struggle builds into an incredibly satisfying redemption arc. When the school transitions into this brutal military training camp, Jin-sung gets placed in charge of the absolute weakest team. I mean, the literal bottom of the barrel. But instead of just giving up, he steps up. He becomes the captain of what everyone starts calling the Zombie Squad. And he doesn't lead them with overpowered magic. He leads them through sheer, unbreakable human endurance. Even though they're ranked dead last, number 300 out of 300 students, Jin-sung's relentless grit just changes the whole game. He takes on extra weight, pushes through total exhaustion, and his actions inspire his squad of quote-unquote losers to completely dominate the military physical tests. They shock the elite students and the instructors alike, proving that pure, unyielding willpower can totally rival raw talent.
But the physical trials? Yeah, those are just the warm-up. During a massive, muddy, trench warfare battle royale, Jin-sung gets pushed to his absolute limits trying to protect his squad. Instead of falling back on his old habits, either completely suppressing his power or completely losing his mind to it, he achieves a huge breakthrough. He learns to partially manifest his power solely into his right arm, giving him absolute control without losing his humanity. It's a real game changer.
And just when he finally finds his footing, the entire genre basically does a 180. We are thrust completely out of high school politics and straight into a staggering global war. I mean, the stakes go through the roof in this apocalyptic escalation. Primordial monsters awaken. A terrifying swarm led by the Locust King attacks. Abaddon invades. Massive Armageddon meteors are raining from the sky. All of it culminating with the literal arrival of Satan on the battlefield. The tension absolutely peaks when Satan confronts our hero. He mocks Jin-sung, calling him a puppet reliant on a cursed soul. And then, to finish him off, Satan unleashes the Abyssal Seal. It's a devastating technique that literally disintegrates Jin-sung's body at the molecular level and banishes his spirit straight to hell. For a moment there, it really looks like the ultimate horrific game over. But of course, Jin-sung's journey doesn't end in death. For a staggering 43,800 hours, to put that into perspective, that is 5 straight years, Jin-sung is trapped in his own subconscious hell. He's forced to battle twisted past versions of himself in this endless, agonizing loop of psychological and physical torment. It is the ultimate crucible for his mind and his spirit.
Yet, through this endless torment, we get what is probably the most moving moment of the entire story. After thousands of hours of literally fighting himself, Jin-sung hears his father's voice, reminding him that, to have freedom, he just has to be free. Jin-sung finally drops his fists. He turns and embraces the visions of his traumatized child self and his dog Poppy. He accepts every dark part of his past, finally forgiving himself for the trauma he survived.
This massive mental breakthrough triggers a stunning visual and physical evolution. He goes from harboring suppressed fear to wielding unhinged killing intent to completely transcending his S-rank status entirely. He awakens an even deadlier, perfectly calm, and calculated ability known as planned murder. He's no longer a slave to his rage, right? He is completely the master of it, in total control of his overwhelming strength.
Bursting back into the real world as the newly awakened successor to the Death Demon, Jin-sung goes straight for Satan. But he doesn't just blast him with flashy magic. No way! Using his newfound authority, he completely disables Satan's Adela, leveling the playing field. It turns into a brutal, bare-knuckle street brawl. Jin-sung beats down the ultimate villain of the series using purely his physical strength and an unbreakable human will.
It's just a perfect, triumphant end to the ultimate hidden badass journey. Jin-sung proves to the entire world that your worth is built by your actions, your endurance, and your ability to conquer your own inner demons, not by some rank society slapped on you at birth. So I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought. If your true value isn't decided by a label or a rank placed upon you, what are you doing today to decide your own worth? Thank you so much for exploring this amazing journey with me, and I'll catch you in the next